Hi everyone, welcome. Today we are going to show or hide inspector fields based on bool values. I have a very basic player script. If player can jump, we are going to reveal jump height, and if player can't jump, we are going to hide it. Let's start. To show or hide inspector fields based on a bool value, we need to follow a couple of steps. First of all, we need a new custom editor script, and then we need to connect this custom editor script to our current script, and lastly, connecting variables and showing or hiding them depending on the bool value. First, I will create my script. To keep things tidy, I'm making a folder for my script and name it as player. And in my player script, I just need two things. First, if my player can jump. For this, I will write public bool can jump. This will just be true or false. And then the jump height, public float jump height. If my player can jump, I'm going to use the jump height. I save and go back to Unity, and I create a game object on the scene named player as well, but it doesn't have to be player. So I can see my fields here, can jump and jump height, which I can play with. But what I really want is jump height to be visible when can jump is true. So to do this, first step, we need a custom editor script. I must create a folder named editor, and within this folder I must place my custom editor script. The name is not important, but it's a good practice to use our script, which is player in this case, and add editor end of it. First step is already done. We have our custom editor script placed in editor folder. Next step, we are going to connect our custom editor script to our script. So let's start. I double click on player editor script. An important bit here, please follow me. We are not going to use mono behavior on player editor because it's not going to be on the scene. It is going to use editor, and when you write editor instead of mono behavior, if Unity editor is not appearing on top, you are going to receive an error, as you can see. So if you see an error, please add using Unity editor on top, and we are not going to use any of those either. And to connect player editor script with our player script, we need to do a couple of steps. First, we are marking this player editor script as custom editor, type of, and player. This is the first bit. And then we need to add a variable for our player script, player. And third step, enable method of the player editor script. We are assigning our player script to the target of the player editor. But as you can see, target is an object, so we must cast this target to our script. So I'm adding player at the beginning, and so we have created player editor script. We marked it as custom editor with the type of player. We added our player variable on enable method of player editor, and we assigned target after casting as player to our player variable in the player editor script. So I'm saving, and when I go back, everything's looking same. And now we are going to show or hide variables with our custom editor. Public override void on inspector GUI, and as you can see, it's automatically adding base on inspector GUI. And when I hover on inspector GUI, as you can see, implement this method to make a custom inspector. We must use on inspector GUI to customize our inspector field, but still we can't see any difference because we are using base on inspector GUI. But when we delete and save, our fields has disappeared. When I click debug mode, they are here, but on normal mode, Inspector GUI is not drawing any of those. So let's make it happen now. For this, we need two serialized properties for each variable in our player script. So serialized property and serialized property and jump height. Variables named as can jump and jump height, but in player editor they are named as m_can jump and m_jump height. This is to prevent confusion because these are not the variables themselves. These are the serialized properties that will show the variables on our player. So we can use exact same names for both of those, but it will be confusing, so it's better to add an underscore or a letter or using capital letter in some cases. So this was the first step, and then on enable we are going to connect those serialized properties. First, can jump is serialized object, find property and can jump. Serialized object is our player script that we've already assigned here. So can jump is now looking for property named can jump, and this is case sensitive, so it must be exactly same name with can jump, otherwise it will not find anything. And I will do exactly same thing for jump height as well. Serialized object, find property and jump height. And now we've connected both of the variables in our player script with the player editor. But when I go back to Unity, I still can't see any difference, because even we connected those two variables, we haven't drawn anything on Inspector GUI. It's pretty easy because we've already defined everything. Editor, GUI layout, property field, and the property field is m_can jump, and I will write exact same thing for editor, GUI layout, property field, m_jump height. And when we save and go back to Unity, now we should be able to see our can jump and jump height variables here. But as you can see, I can't change any of those because it's just drawing the variables that is getting from our player script. When we go to debug mode, we can change our variables, but when we go back to normal mode, we can't change anything because we ordered our inspector field just to serialize and show the variables. To detect and apply changes on Inspector GUI, we need to add just a couple of lines. First, editor GUI begin chain check at the beginning of everything, and on the last line we should check if editor GUI and chain check for our serialized object apply modified parameters, and that's it. And when I go back to Unity, as you can see, on the normal mode we can toggle and change with the fields, and when I go back to debug mode we can see they are applied to our script. And the last bit is the easiest bit, to hide jump height if our can jump variable is wrong. So we prepared everything for just this, and if can jump and we get the bool value of can jump, and we just copy and paste, cut and paste our property field jump height first we make can jump variable visible, and then we check if it's true or not. If it's true, we draw the jump height. If it's false, we are just going to skip and do nothing. And let's see if it works like a magic. And just for a quick practice, let's add the third variable depending on the second one. It will be a very quick one. So if player can jump, we are going to show jump height. And if jump height is over 10 units, I'm going to enable double jump height. For this, I'm going back to player script and adding public float double jump height. I save it and I go back to the player editor and I add the third serialized property. Start with m underscore double jump height, and I need to connect m double jump height with the jump height. M double jump height, serialized object, find property, double jump height. Before drawing it, I will add it just under jump height. So if m underscore jump height dot float value is greater than 10, I'm just going to draw GUI layout property field m underscore double jump height. So what we are doing here, first we are checking can jump. If it's true, we are showing the jump height, and if it's over 10, we are going to show double jump height. And let's check if it's working. And when I click can jump, jump height becomes visible, and if it's 6, we can't see double jump height, but when it's 11, double jump height becomes visible and all is working. After preparing our custom editor script, it took less than 30 seconds to add another field. Please don't forget to subscribe for more videos and tutorials. Thank you very much. See you on the next one.